Okay, moving on. So, as far as I'm concerned, the dissemination of Road Note 31 has finished.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much. Now, just some discussions. So we're all just sitting around the table having a discussion.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you some things that are new in UK. And then I want to find out about issues in Bangladesh. Okay, so just a few things that are new in UK. So from my point of view, I'm involved mostly in pavement investigations, rehabilitation designs. So in the UK, we have annual surveys of motorways and trunk roads using TRACS vehicles, which is traffic speed condition surveys. So they have lasers built on the back that scan the surface of the road and inbuilt sensors and so on. So they measure the road profile, texture, joint stepping, and have high definition cameras and crack detection. And they go around and survey the whole of the network. I think it's every year. FWD, you know about FWD? Why? That's not new. And in the UK, we have deflectograph, which is like an automatic Benjamin beam. So it's old technology. It's been going for 40 years, and they serve the whole of the road network every 2 years. So this is what we use at the moment. So ground penetrating radar. We've been using ground penetrating radar for many years, but last year we had 3D GPR. I don't know if you're aware of 3D GPR.
Yeah, aware of GPR.
Yeah, GPR. So with GPR, the normal survey is just in one wheel path going along the road. So, for example, if you had a pipe crossing the road, you'd know that it was here, but you wouldn't know if it went there, there, or there. You don't know. So this system is 3D GPR. So you go along, run along the lane, traffic speed. So no problem with collecting data. And then the data that you have, you can divide into slices. So if you want the transverse GPR every 5 meters, you can get that data out. If you want the offside wheel path, you can get the data out. Near side wheel path, it's fine. Or in the third picture, you can see this is an overhead view where you can see everything across the road and the different layer thicknesses. So if you interpret GPR, one layer here. So it's very interesting technology, which we've only started to use. So this was last year.
Non-destructive.
Yeah, non-destructive GPR. And it's very quick, just driving along the road.
Is there any scanner so that we can find the depth of a crack and width of crack?
I don't think it's that. No, I don't think you can get actual crack widths. It's just GPR. It's more about big things in the pavement.
Is there any instrument like that, like a scanner, so that we can find out the depth and width of a crack, how much it spreads over the pavement?
We have used handheld devices which you pull across, and then it can detect cracks and how deep they are. Yes, but that's very, very slow. This is very fast. Run along a whole lane. Also, we've been using the traffic speed deflectometer for about 5 years now. So you can see this vehicle, it's like an HGV, but in the back of it, there is a laser. So the laser points down at different points on the road, and as the truck moves along, it's actually measuring the deflection of the surface of the pavement, just by lasers pointing at it. Very clever. So this is the new it replaces the old TSD. This is the new Traffic Speed Condition Survey vehicle, TRAS, and it has two sets of lasers in the back, each one pointing at the different wheel paths. So you can measure the actual pavement deflection as you're driving along at 60 miles an hour, something like that. So it's very high tech and very useful. So we have an annual survey. So instead of the deflect graph, which I showed you in the previous slide, which travels at, I think it's 10 kilometers an hour. So to survey the whole network takes over a year. This, it can travel at 60 miles an hour over all the motorways and trunk roads in the country. So it's very high tech. I think it's built in Sweden. They are the experts. But
it's quite similar data.
yeah, it's excellent. So, you know, we can divide the whole road network up into 10-meter lengths, 100 meter. I think it's 10-meter lengths, and we can get the deflection for that length of road. So you can identify areas with high deflection, where there's something wrong, and low deflection. And we're also using it to survey concrete roads as well, because it can identify individual concrete joints and the deflection at those. That's ongoing research. So mostly it's used for asphalt roads, but there's research for using it for concrete roads as well. So that's very high tech, very new.
Very expensive.
And very expensive, yes. Yes, I think it's the same in this country, that your financial year ends, and if you don't spend the budget, it gets lost. So I think this was bought on the last day of the financial year. It's not owned by TRL, it's National Highways, which runs the motorway and trunk road network. They keep changing their name. It was Highways England, now it's National Highways. We're getting used to it. Yeah, there was confusion because my initials are NH. So when you have a meeting and it says NH decided this, I thought, did I decide that? No, it's National Highways decided that. So, phew, that's good. Another thing that I found interesting, working with overseas, is increased interest around the world in concrete roads. So we've updated RoadNet 31 to include concrete. We're currently writing the Kenyan Road Design Manual to include concrete, which they didn't have before. And we're in discussions with Zambia about, they're also sort of interested in concrete roads and having a manual. So it seems to be that around the world, the focus is changing onto concrete. That there's much more interest in it than there used to be. Whether that's due to climate change or the cost of oil, I don't know. Okay, so there's just a few things. Now it's over to you. You have a whiteboard. I'm interested. What are the main problems that you're encountering in Bangladesh? So I know overloading is one. Let's write these down. Andrew said, not just problems, but innovations. But not just problems. Not just problems, but innovations or interesting heats or disruptions. I'm going to maybe in that two layers of reinforcement. Interesting. But overloading, what are the issues we have?
Rutting is a big issue.
Rutting.
Right? RUTIN.
Yeah, in that structural rutting or not structural rutting. So is it just the asphalt that's flowing, or is it the deep-seated rutting?
Maybe yes, barely also.
Construction quality was mentioned yesterday. So, any more?
Actually, let me put it this way, because if you want to build a resilient infrastructure or roads particularly, we need to go back there. So how this thing we have to, yeah. So in your group, probably we inherited this philosophy even from the British legacy, the stress construction. That's a very big point. Even in this difficulty, just so we in the way we built our infrastructure, particularly for road. So ours is absolutely that way. So more than 60% of our land is under water. Every year. Maybe it's a there is maybe from 1 meter to 5 meters. So almost 100% of our road are built on embankment. Yeah. So where these embankments are built, we apply stress construction. Acquire this land with the land borrowing, cut the earth from here, put it in there for building this environment. Yeah, embankment. So what happened is every the equal quality of this construction was not maintained. At the same time, as we applied stress construction, so it was not a proper engineered structures for the very embankment, everything. We applied this one. So let me give you this stress construction in our country. So we cut this road, up, put it on the ground, make an embankment without following any compaction. We allow it to be naturally compacted. And what we did next is we put a herringbone. We know the herringbone, read, and then allow it for a traffic for maybe 3 to 4 years. So then it goes. And then we reclaim those bricks and make it a macadam somewhere. Yeah. So they break that bricks, make some aggregate, make it as a macadam, with the carpeting or silk or whatever you call, put it in there. And then after another 10-15 years, we started making some buildings. In many cases, we did not do the proper stability, quality of the existing embankment. Yeah, even we cannot go for this embankment. Even beneath that embankment, we have a huge problem of topsoil, clay, expansive soil. But we didn't take our general practice. Yes, we do some high quality roads with all the investigations. But many of our roads, we don't go even below the embankment. We have problems of soft ground, soft soils. About in particular different regions, we have our soil maps. There we do it. Okay. So to my understanding, by following this place construction, we inherited I would say very structurally poor infrastructure, but we need to rehabilitate, or if we want to make it absolutely classical engineered structure, then we'll have to start reconstructing the whole thing. But that is not possible. So what we are thinking is the biggest challenge that we have said, or challenge we have for the highway engineers in Bangladesh is, yes, for the need of this country and the economic ability that we have, that allowed this space construction and establishing the connectivity and network. But quality has come to the big issue as we are graduating from this development, developing the so our main problem is the quality roads. But I'm not saying quality stays strong. Rather, I would say some compromise roads. We compromise some of the standards. Yes, we did it purposefully and knowingly. It's happened that we just for any reason we did it. But knowingly, consciously we did it. But as our economic ability has gone up, we want to fix that network where engineering is. It is a problem for LGD also. In our field, the biggest problem. So I would suggest our policymakers that we have to take a crash programs fixing the road that we have made. That doesn't mean that we have to start going for new construction. there have been lots of technologies. I'm thinking, okay, if we can put our heads together, and then we can do it. The thing is, as you were saying, routing is a very big problem for us. So we sometimes think that this routing is coming from the asphalt layers. But the thing is, our embankment is poor. Yes. And during construction traffic, we allow our unbound layer is not in a position to sustain this amount of load. So embankment quality is the major, to my understanding. Any of you have full liberty differ, but my understanding is our subgrade is not that strong. And our soil characteristics, particularly in Texas, I was there, I saw we have got similar sort of expansion soil in many of them. And if we can fix this foundation and the embankment, then we can actually protect our investment in future. If we build highways on the faulty embankment and faulty subsoil, that could actually put us in a trap of, huge expenditure of maintenance in the future. So that is what I wanted as far as the pavement structure. If I start from underground, this is not our subject, but if you go start from the embankment, that is the biggest issue we have to look into. That is what I wanted to add. And the same problem, so our engineering colleagues are there. If our problem is 50%, they are 60-70% for their problems. And we have to take a national program of rectify the things we did in the past without demolition of these structures. So we have, you asked, so we have to invent innovative solutions to fixing our embankment, even in the okay, thank you.
Topsoil drainage costs. Topsoil drainage costs.
How the overloading? My question is, so how the overloading has been taken care of in those categories? How the overloading issue has been taken care of in those categories? Interesting. I think you should be, yes, that's also.
Yeah, I thought that we were discussing on Bangladesh. Anyway, the overloading issue is a challenge for very, very many countries, and the issue lies in regulation and enforcement. Road Note 31 being a design document, if you design for overloading, your structure will be unaffordable completely. Yeah, so we have based it on the premise that overloading should be controlled first. Only some safety factor has been allowed, but not large. But some safety factor has been allowed. Yeah.
There's another thing that I should say actually, somebody else talking about the cost of construction in our country. There is a perception among the common people and the policymakers also that the cost of highway construction in Bangladesh is higher than even Germany. Cost of highway of Germany, which is not true actually, but somehow it is written by the journalists and other people that the cost is high. But the thing is, the comparison of cost is not properly done. So I think GRL can help us to make a comparison of cost of pavement structures. And maybe you have done some work in Africa and Bangladesh and even neighboring countries. You can help us to find out the actually what is the cost, because everybody is saying cost is high, but personally I think the cost is not high. Actually, this is the comparison is wrong. So you can help us. GRL can help us.
After the discussion, Are we going to have a formal closing or after the discussion, everything will be finished? We know what is the plan of this program. So after this discussion, it will be automatically closed and go, or there is a formal, sort of, non-formal. Actually, you are the one who will be closing. Okay, so let me wrap this part out. Then we will be probably having a picture, or if I have some overall, comments on this, I'll be taking key comments from the audience for 2 days, who's prepared here for 2 days. So I want to get a feedback from them, and then I can make a short concluding remarks. That would actually end this session. Then we'll be going for a coffee. We'll be having a big. Okay, so mic is yours. Finish your part, then we'll move into the that. Okay.
No more comments?
So innovation, you actually have seen what are the innovation we are trying to do. It's not innovation actually, but we are trying to improve CRCP, JRCP,
Yeah.
all these things, and we have done some stabilization also in some areas, but it's becoming popular now. So slowly we are moving towards that direction, innovation, like PMP, we are starting with PMP.
Once you've got the experience of CRCP,
Yeah.
then maybe some of these are training.
Yeah.
So not good quality. You can focus on one project. If you use the strength of CRCP,
Right.
with the existing strength of the existing data, and you can make a service.
So what, yeah.
I would like to add something regarding the subgrade, weak subgrade, particularly that is, which has been built for a long time, by the method of space construction. So far I know from some study that the rigid pavement, concrete pavement is the only pavement which can accommodate the weak subgrade. And it is also called as a floating pavement. Even on a water surface, it can be built. So this is the beauty of this, and I think this is the best solution for such sorts of weak subgrade supported pavement in Bangladesh particularly. Thank you.
I think you could, do you like to say something about your comments, or you will write it up for your own consumption?
And seeing the thing, everyone's minded.
Okay, so take a picture, do that way. So let me move into the last part of this 2 days event. Before going to the formal conclusion, I would be requesting 3 persons from the audience to share their views, how it went, yeah, about the quality of discussions, or it has made his expectation and what's sort of. So I will be requesting one from academia, one from our biggest partner, the really is there. I love to work with them, and I have some observations and I can share with you. So even if you have some expectation from here, you can express that. So before moving to them, I will be requesting from academia very quick feedback or observations. Sakib, would you like to say a few words? Or yes, you can just about this thing and what could be done in better way so that we can manage it, or we can make that discussion later.
Thank you all. It's a great presentation all over, and I really enjoyed the last 2 days. One thing we need to see that these guys also need our feedback from Bangladesh, because we are at the borderline of exchange. So we must give them whatever we think about the roadmap after we build it. So we can find some weakness. I believe there will be some issues that we must ask them to address. So from the academia, I can tell them that we are going to go through the road note and give our honest feedback so that we can adjust it better for our client as well. So it's excellent work, and thank you for coming to Bangladesh. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sakib. We get good feedback from industry. Yes, sorry, academia, and I would appreciate your commitment that you will be giving your feedback in course of time. And then I am going to invite our 2 HR colleagues there. I will invite one for a quick comment. Una sir, would you like to say 2 words? Very short, 1 or 2 minutes. Because he has a very big, take a nice about it. So they had worked in his department on highway agency for more than 30 years. And after that, they, sorry, sir? 32 years. So he might add something.
Thank you to everybody, especially Mahmoud and TRS people. They came together. We are only joined the RSD. We know there is a road number 31. This will guide the design of pavement. But formally we never get any training or any discussions or any session on road number 31. Because this is the first time I personally, 30 years, I get the opportunity to have a direct connection with the TRL regarding the road number 31. So I know how it is developed and especially it is changing and moving and it is going faster and it is going excellent way. So I thank you everybody and I thank you TRL personally and their cooperation. I think TRL and TRL will work jointly and something will come out for the topsoil country because our country is alluvial and topsoil is. So our charts and others will be slightly different from the Africa where soil condition is harder. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So now I will be requesting anybody from even to if you want to come and give your own feedback. How you evaluate this station or how you enjoy us like that.
Thank you. First of all, on behalf of the LGD, I'd like to thank the TRL and the Road Health Integrated Transportation for organizing such a wonderful event and also inviting us. The event definitely it was a very good one. Just I'm sharing my own story. When I read for yesterday, and then in the office, I told my boss, okay, there is a 2 days event. And so I told the first day I will be there, and then it became very office because I have some cases there. But last night I made a phone call that the program is going really well, and I am there. So it needless to say that it was very good, and there is no other way because all the 4 persons of the TRL were present here, and also those who couldn't come, they were connected to online. So it was really resourceful and helpful. But here, what we learned that the changes that the upgrades that have been made, and it has just given us the idea that how to proceed on our business. And as Sir was telling, actually, Roadman others and LGD both are working on the same issues, but on different scales and on different types of roads. So we shared the same opportunity and same challenges during executing their road. Like the compaction issues or the development of the space construction is the same. Rather in LGD, it's worse because we didn't have the even chance to acquire the land. So whatever land we got voluntarily, we just developed. So the geometric standard is really awful. So our challenge is more. So we always like to attend and receive such updates, and we also want to develop ourselves so that actually the national target for which all our people are working, we can achieve there, and we can gradually make our infrastructure more sustainable and resilient, and reach our. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. The we should be a big hand for him. Let me come to the formal conclusion. I will not be alone, but what I wanted to say is, so our honorable Prime Minister has set a goal of becoming a developed nation by 2041. So that's a measurable target to have in front of us. So 2 things we have to achieve if we want to, walk through the right path. One is energy, and the other is the infrastructure. So transport infrastructure is the biggest, input. If we can put in place in the right way, only then we can make our honorable Prime Minister's dream a successful one. So we people who are working in the transport sector, not only the roads, but other transports are equally important to us. and LGD being our partners, they are working in the accessibility and integration with us. Yeah. So we have to be very careful about building our infrastructure. The main point that came up here is the resilience. So the thing is, we have to build our resilient infrastructure. But the thing, as I have said, a little chance I got that we inherited a congenital network that made our work, road engineers work most challenging in the world. That is what my personal feeling is. So the thing is, if you have a congenital baby in your family, many of your parents cannot sleep with them. They start loving them, but they have to take all the pains. But the thing is, the way we developed our network, because our ability was not that at that point of time, but fortunately we have grown our ability. So the thing is, the decision that came to us is we have three sets of engineering that I always say, yes, but one is the conventional one, yeah, low cost conventional. Then we have to go for classical engineering. So low cost conventional engineering was the very quick and to respond to the system that demands. And our veterinary engineer, Mr. Kamalisam City, who did it very nice, because we become the role model of building such a big infrastructure in such a small time. And our LGD colleague rightly said that yes, our geometry is very much off. We did it knowingly. That doesn't mean that we are not good engineers. We know that this is a problem, but we didn't have any other alternatives but to do it. And as I have done that sort of thing, Bangladesh is enjoying that benefit of connectivity. We are so closely connected and economic activity has tremendously good. You got my point. So the point came right now is we have to take appropriate measures depending on our economic ability to fix that congenital network. So there have been lots of innovative technologies. Our colleague Mr. Santosh Shah was saying, okay, sporting campaigns or that could be one of the options. But it has to be decided from the policy level. Yes, what is the best possible engineering interventions to fix our network and make it more resilient and reliable. I'm just putting one of my examples because I used to be the director of Bangladesh Road Research Laboratory, and I have the chance to make, as I have said, so Professor Hall came to my office because he is the Oxford research guy, and I was the director of research. So he wanted to know about the resilience of Bangladesh. So one day he thought how he will be coming, who he will be talking to. So as he has the research background, he came to Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, but he told, no, I'm an academician myself. So I don't want to talk to you, rather I want to have a discussion with a person who are really facing the problem. So then he came to my office along with Professor Law to have a discussion about the resilient issues when he's writing his famous book of systems approach, the future of infrastructure. So he signed that book and gave that to me as well. So why I'm telling it is, in the last month, I went to the US. And we have a collaboration with University of Texas at Arlington. So for the last 4 years, we are working together to fix the problem of Bangladesh. So the thing is that many of the Bangladeshi students are going back there. It's a huge community there, Bangladeshi community. When I went to TRB, I found more than 200 Bangladeshi people are there sitting and talking about their problems. And it was an immense experience for me. And with that experience, I went back to Texas Arlington with 3 of our students under our collaboration. They did a research on the plastic road and then embankment stability. 2 professors, actually assistant professor, did the research. So plastic pins. So we have millions of tons of plastic or the one-time use polythene in the bed of River Burigunga. So the thing is there, I saw these things are being applied. So I was walking around the Texas roads and he was sliding off the embankment is there. And they are pushing this, the one-time plastic used, collected it, and then they anaerobic molding it and then putting it, pinning it. So huge miles of road they are doing. And one of our professor in there, I came to know in there that he is working on vertical things. Already said embankments are there. So those embankments are weak. So what they are doing is, one way they are solving the problem of plastic. At the same time, they are improving their embankment stability. So this one way they are solving waste problem. Other way they are solving the embankment stability problem. So this work is going on and it came on very nicely and they are doing that. So what I wanted to make at this point of time is, if as an engineer, we have a collaborative approach, we can solve many of our problems. And that is the message I want to give to the audience that we have. So it is becoming long. I will take only 1 minute. So I'm just giving a big thank you for TRL for coming to us and selecting Roads and Highways Department or Roads and Highways Engineers Association, the other side of the coin. I represent Roads and Highways and the head of technical services wing. At the same time, I'm the president of that association. So it doesn't make any difference because it is same thing. I would expect this collaboration in future, and my request would be to customize many of the things, because you just shared your experience, but built on the data and study elsewhere. So if we can customize it to our context, that would be even better for us. So I will be offering another midterm review of this. If it is not like so one from LGD, 2 from academia, 1 or 2 from us, if not physical, in way like this situation, we can meet virtually over time. So if we can put 1 or 2 representatives from different groups that we can meet our review and get the feedback to you, so that it can become more relevant to our context. Okay. So with these few words, we have been very indebted to, as I said, DFID or FCDO. So here we started building roads within road not 31, as our senior colleague said. In the BCS section, I'm 10%. So I took a choice for roads and highways department. So at that time, I came to one of my senior colleagues. He used to be the chief engineer on that time. He was the superintending engineer. One of my relatives referred me to that superintending engineer. So he was taking a pre-interview of that. So he asked one question: do you know about road note? That is for the first time I came to know about this road note 31. He said, do you know road note 31? Another road note 29 probably. That is what he said. So do you know road note 31 and road note 22? No. So you are going to face a viva, but you don't know for roads and highways department, but you don't know road note. Then he gave a small book of road note 31 for that time, and this is the time I first time came across that this is the standard. We have to build roads on this first. So DFID doing those things, and immense contribution is there. CIDC, I was talking with him. So they have trained these lots of road engineers. As I said, Mr. Wali is there, Mr. Elias is there, myself is there. I can find many of them. So they have been funded by the DFID road engineers, and they went back to UK and got trained there, and we are serving our mission. So we have a huge, in-depth to DFID of the British people. And with that, viewers, I would like to conclude and big thank you for you, and I'm inviting all of you. Probably we have a couple of you. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we can have a big picture. Yes, we can stand here. So please join us for a photo play.
Excuse me, I have shared you my photos of my projects, pictures. Your WhatsApp.
Thank you.